For this presentation, I have chosen The Lamb by William Blake. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Gave thee life and bid thee feed by the stream and o'er the mead. Gave thee clothing of delight, softest clothing, woolly, bright. Gave thee such a tender voice, making all the vales rejoice. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Little lamb, I'll tell thee. Little lamb, I'll tell thee. He is called by thy name, for he calls himself a lamb. He is meek, and he is mild. He became a child. I, a child, and thou, a lamb. We are called by his name. Little lamb, God bless thee. Little lamb, God bless thee. Now, to paraphrase, the poem is essentially saying these right here. Who made you? Do you know? Who gave you life and food, nice and soft clothes, your sweet voice? Who made you? Do you know who made you? I will tell you. He has also been called a lamb. He has made himself a child. I am a child, and you are a lamb. We are named after him. God bless you, lamb. Blake uses very positive words in this poem to create the same tone, which is positivity and sort of innocence, as if it's for a child, or something as innocent as a lamb. In this, he also uses metaphors and allusions, biblical ones. The lamb itself, the words meek and mild, and he also uses rhyme, meek and mild, he made himself a child, and rhythm. The rhythm being the syllables he uses per line. Most of the poem is in 7 syllables and per line, and only 6 syllables, I believe, per question. And each syllable has a certain flow to it, a certain beat, and that's part of the rhythm as well. And as for thee, not you, I have researched this, and thee was sort of the informal way of approaching someone. Do you know who created you would be too formal. And thus, do you know who created thee? Or using thee instead of you is informal, as if you're talking to someone who would be less needing of formality, like a child or a friend. The interpretation for this poem is that it is a religious poem that praises God and tries to explain the idea of creation to a child. The narrator is using the innocence of a lamb as an example of holy innocence that God bestows upon his creation. Then asks the question, do you know who made you and gave you all these gifts? This is a poem praising God and his gift of life, written as one would explain to a child, which is very much summed up in just using the lamb as the central theme for this poem. A lamb is a young, usually pure white animal that was used in the biblical sense of a child or being sacrificed for a greater reason. And that is also what happened to Jesus. Jesus sacrificed himself, and God was both a child, as in the form of Jesus. He became a child, and God was also the Lamb. And in the line, as we could see, I, a child, and thou, a lamb, it is a relation of the poet trying to connect God to us. As you could see, would be, we are called by his name. I am a child, and thou a lamb. It would be a sort of we are made in his image connection in the form of an illusion and a metaphor. Overall, this was a very sensible and philosophical poem that really focuses on the idea of creation, and I think it's very well done.